Welcome to the SJ Child Show, where a little bit of knowledge can turn fear into understanding. Enjoy the show. Thank you so much to all my wonderful listeners. If you'd like to get a shout out, please email me at sjchildshow@gmail.com. Today, I'd like to give a shout out to Andrew Arbo. andrewarbo.weebly.com. He does public speaking and side jobs for the autism community and tackles autism topics including transportation, transitioning to adulthood, employment, and you can find him at his website. Jimmy Clare, who also has a podcast, The Crazy Fitness Guy, and Mike D. Morrow. Mike is a podcaster with a podcast called Mike's Mission, a podcast on Spotify. Ash Nunez just got certified for web development. So if you're looking for that, look up Ash Nunez. Thank you so much to my listeners. And if you want a shout out, please reach out. I'd love to connect with you. I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July and have a great week. See you next time. Hi, welcome to the SJ Child Show. I'm really excited today to speak with Vincent. And is it Infante? How do I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah, no, you have it.
Excellent. You have a really exciting story. And like I joked, we've been rescheduled a couple times, and it must be so good that we've been conspired to finally have it now. So thank you so much for meeting with me today. Where are you at in the world?
I am in New York.
Okay. I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. So we might have similar weather.
I love Utah. I've been there a few times. I have one of my best friends lives there too.
Oh, fantastic. I've only been to New York once when I was about 14. So long time ago to remember everything, but at least I have the experience, Yeah, really excited to meet you today. Thank you so much for coming and for making time. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here.
Here to the show or here to this world?
Here to the show. We don't want to go for that. We don't. Yeah. Adult content warning. No, just joking.
Well, I am on a mission to impact 1 billion lives. So my focus this year has been really heavily on trying to get my message out to as many audiences as I can, because I don't know if you've ever tried to impact 1 billion lives, one person at a time. That's seems like a very daunting task, and quite frankly, I don't think I'm up for that. But it seems a lot easier if you can spread a message and hopefully display it to many, many people at once. Mm-hmm. So this year's focus is really that, starting to step into ramping up the billion. Mm-hmm. And what brings me on this is also a part of my journey of just self-development. I've been through a lot of things in my own life. I have decided that because I've been able to overcome them, I want to try and impact people and help them see that there are ways they could overcome their own adversities. And I also have created this method that I'm pretty sure I'm like one of the only people doing, which is a hybrid of therapy, mentoring, and coaching, because I have the background as a therapist and I have a lot of the training as a coach. And then I believe one of the best people that make impacts in other people's lives is always a mentor, right? Because a mentor is somebody who's just there for you because they love you and they're very unconditional. And I think that's really one of the biggest things that a lot of people are missing when they're trying to get help, right? You have a coach or a therapist and then kind of just stops in the office. Well, with me, I think I look at people as a very holistic view. And so I aim to create a service that I needed when I was younger. And a lot of it might even just be an extension of my inner child wanting to help the world.
Oh, you and I sound like we have very same passions in that effect, that I want to affect billion children in the world and make sure that they're getting the, love and knowledge and compassion right off the bat, so that our future turns into a better place and generations filled with, greatness and knowledge rather than misinformation or fear. So yeah,
I like it.
Sounds very, very similar. Um, what kind of, where do you say like you started? Well, because sometimes it's like when we fall is really when we realize that's where we're starting from. So what did that look like for you?
Hmm. The fall. I I don't think I ever was standing up in the first place.
I love that.
I mean, to be quite frank, when I thought back throughout my whole life, I really don't remember a time where I ever felt accepted or fit in.
Mm,
And it was things like, and some people might even say that my view might be a little ridiculous, but it's things as if when I was in kindergarten and used to play house,
mm,
and you'd have the mom, the dad, maybe the siblings, the kids, whoever. I was the dog.
mm.
People were like, "Yeah, you can play. You can be the dog." I was like, "What do I do as the dog?" Well, you get to lay over there in the corner. Well, do I do anything? No, you're the dog. You just kind of stay in the house, and if we call you, you could come. I was like, "Oh, okay." And it's funny because right, like who even has memories from when they were what's kindergarten 5?
Yeah, 5.
But I guess for me, I had really sat. You never lose your memories; they're just like in there somewhere. You just don't
Right.
access them, right? So I remember I had really sat, and I'm like, was there a time in my life where I was accepted? Like, how far back does this go? Because I've been telling the narrative. Like, my main story is, oh, I got bullied my whole life, and it was bad in middle school and got worse in high school. And I
Mm.
was like, but did it start before that? And then I was thinking back, and I was remembering, like, oh, it started, yeah, in 5th grade, I got bullied. In 4th grade, I was the butt of jokes. In 3rd grade, things were uncomfortable. In 2nd grade, in 1st grade, in kindergarten, I was the dog sitting in the corner. I could only come out if they called me. I'm like, when the hell was I ever accepted?
Mm.
And it made me really question that. So when we asked, like, oh, where was the fall? I don't think I was ever really standing. I think I was always just kind of sitting on the ground. If anything, I would say there wasn't a fall. There was a point where I stood up.
Yeah.
Mm.
I love that. It's really interesting too when we go back and we look at perspectives now that we're adults, perspective, right? It's everything. And you can really identify those things. And now it sounds like you are a parent now and really be able to take those things from your childhood and, arm your children with the knowledge of it or the power to define it or get through it or tools to work through it, stuff that we didn't or may not have had when we were growing up. And
Mm.
like you said, mentors, I love that you said that because I often I have autism, my family, and so for us defining that everything for us is normal in our normal way, and everything outside of that is everybody else's own journey. And so it's really great. I always tell parents and educators having a mentor, having those people that you can lean on in like a 3-tiered process in the before you like so that you can be a mentor and really help somebody at the same level you're at so you can get advice for what you're going through and someone really far ahead of you that you can be mentored by and really look up to. I think that can really create this like tier of success for you to help yourself and then teach your children how to do the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I think
powerful.
that's great. It's important to surround yourself with multiple people
Mm.
because we are very influenced by the people we have around us. And it doesn't even have to be that that's like the intention of it. That's just what happens because
Yeah.
you spend a lot of time having conversation, you spend a lot of time connecting, you spend a lot of time talking. The things that you guys persistently and consistently discuss are the things that are the most relevant in your life, right? So last year in 2022, one of my biggest intentions was sorting out my friend circle. So
Mm.
I got rid of a lot of people and I welcomed a lot of people because that's kind of what it is. You have to make space. A lot of people continuously actually, it's funny, right before we got on this call, I got off with a client who is finally in the space where he's experiencing that his friend circle needs adjusting.
Mm.
And I told him we've been working together for about a year now. And I told him, hey, when I start working with clients, I like asking questions about their life, like
Mm.
understanding where they're at. He's like, yeah, I have this group of friends and this, that, and blah, blah, blah. I said, that's really cool. I was like, how do you feel about them? He's like, yeah, I think they're great. He's like, we'll all be friends forever. I was like, are your friends doing self-development work? He's like, no, not really. He's like, some of them think it's kind of dumb and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I just want you to know, as we start this process together, I was like, you're probably going to lose some of your friends. He's like, nah, I don't think so. We're all cool. We're a group of friends. We've been together forever. Like, we got out of high school. Now we're in college together. I'm like, okay, no worries. And I'm not going to fight him on it, right? It's not,
Yeah. It's his lesson to
but
learn, right?
yeah, right. But it's funny because now it's a year later and we're having conversations. He's like, yeah, I'm realizing I don't like this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, it's because of the fact that you're changing who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And as you change who you are, you realize that there are certain things you are looking for in friends, certain things you are and are not willing to accept. And that's going to be the natural progression of things. Now you need to start stepping into new friendships that serve the man you are becoming, because your friendships are based off the man you were. And as you step into this new version, you evolve, you have to also evolve the people. So
Yeah.
whole transition.
Oh, I completely agree. And it's so interesting sometimes. I think that I'm telling you, it was conspiracy that it was now today. No, my husband has just recently kind of gone through that exact same thing. And if we would have had this conversation earlier, I wouldn't have been able to say that. But I've seen that, these people aren't serving me the best way that I need to move forward and have, be more educated or have these conversations or talk more about personal growth and things that we're doing together as a couple, and we're moving together and on this path. And like you said, it's like sometimes the vibrations and energy, the people literally just fall away and you don't realize or recognize. And then you're like, oh my gosh, it's been 2 months. I haven't heard from this person, but their energies are still pulling them towards the same actions and choices that they were making that you've decided to move on from. And so it's really great to be able to measure that growth and to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. When you're in alignment too, because there's things that'll let you know, right? Like, I mean, you have the same color of backlighting as I do right now.
Oh,
And the reason that I chose this color, usually I do podcasts with this color on because this is the colors in my brand. So if you go on my
okay.
website, you'll see this color on my website.
That's my little orange light, I guess. It's the color of mine.
But I think that's funny. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. This shows alignment.
I love it. No, I agree. And I think that when you are really living in your best alignment, that's when you see people coming in and you're making new connections. And I think it's so important to always keep in mind, how much am I going to learn from this new person? They're going to teach me things that I could never imagine because they're on the other side of the nation. Number one, there's so many different environmental things that can be happening, but also the opportunities that are there for you are totally different than what are here for me. And so we get this, conjoining of collaboration of ideas and of projects and of things like that. So yeah, it's powerful when we get to do these. And I love this medium. I wish I would have known about podcasting before when it first started, rather than how many ever years into it I came. It's just been such a powerful way to share, like you said, across such a wide audience and variety of people, so many different messages. I hope that they're all what people want. I mean, they keep coming back for it, so I'm assuming so. But yeah. So tell us about what what this goal for you looks like in action, kind of moving forward.
The goal of impacting 1 billion lives, I don't fully know what it's supposed to be moving forward, honestly. I would assume that, and this is what I do, is I just pick whatever I think is my best move and I just use my judgment and I ask if it seems aligned or not, right? So for me, the way it looks moving forward is more speaking engagements, not just podcasting, but hopefully some stages, some big stages, and wanting to do more of creating a mastermind community where I bring people together as opposed to just doing one-to-one coaching like I'm currently doing. I see for myself also doing workshops and seminars and just events aside from just keynote speaking. So I think there's a multitude of ways that I'm going to be able to do it. And I don't have, and one of the things that I talk about with people is like from my path in life. So I've been in mental health for over 10 years, right? I was first a therapist, then a firefighter. Now I'm a coach. And I always tell people that for me, everything I've done for my whole life has always been in service to others. And I've always been in love with and happy with serving, but I've never been in love with or attached to a way I serve. That's why I've been able to be so fluid in the ways that I transitioned careers 3 times in 3 years. And so that's how I feel about this. I can say right now, my thought, my intention, my heart is that I will be a coach until the day I die. Like I'll be like Bob Proctor. I'm going to be 90 years old, still coaching people. Maybe I even die on a coaching call. Who knows? But with that being said, I don't know if that will forever be my path. And I am always willing to let go of what is for what can be. And so if my way of helping people takes me off the road of coaching into something else, which again, I don't think it will. I really do feel this is my purpose. But should that happen, I will gladly accept that too, because that's what I've always done. And it's always worked out amazing. Like my life it's been hard in many ways, but it's also been extremely, extremely fulfilling in many ways because of the fact that I've learned to just follow and go where I believe I'm needed. And so in that regard of how I'll get to the billion, I mean, I'll get there. I can't really give you the answer right now, but we could talk once I hit 1 billion. I'll come back on the show.
100%, you better. Yes, absolutely. No, that's so exciting. Like I've never really set a goal for the number of people, which I mean makes it much more tangible to be able to kind of have accountability for a goal like that. So really good thinking on that. I mean, I have had a goal of like being global and I've reached that goal and I'm super happy about that. And I've made, friends and connections just all over the world. And it's funny, I was just talking to the lady before. I now need to get out into my local community and make the connections here because it's like I've built this online and all of this, but I really want to just get out and do more in my community too. And that for me looks like training in a different way, on autism and on safety and how we as parents need to speak properly or professionally to professions that we need services from because we're expecting them to kind of like know everything when we show up. But I think that we need to do better and come with more information and be prepared to be the advocates for when we need to be. So, yeah. I wish us both a really huge amount of luck on our journeys. Definitely. That's exciting. So any books or anything like that? Have you authored or what else? Do you think anything else? I feels like I
mean,
saw
there's
that.
definitely, oh yeah, there's so much in my mind. I have the lack of capacity to do it at the moment.
Yeah,
But
right.
there's definitely a desire for like a book series, creating my own journal, creating a course that people could take so that they don't need me to coach them. So there's many ways that I want to offer. And obviously, I think one of the biggest things is I've always seen this too, is like there's some people that are so inaccessible. And I think the truly great people can be accessed by everyone. Like one of the things I've admired, Tony Robbins has been one of my biggest inspirations to continue doing not only what I'm doing, but the ways I aspire to grow.
Yeah.
And I love that he's so accessible.
Yeah.
Because he's got everything from like a $20 to $30 book that can change your life. It's like 800 pages and it will change your life just by reading that. He's got audio books, like audio tapes, right? That are programs that he's created. And those are maybe like 100 to 300 each, maybe. So you're right, you're a little higher up, right? Then he's got his coaches that you can learn from. Then he's got the events you could attend. Then he's got the workshops. Then he's got the free challenges. And so he does so much. And I mean, what's really cool about Tony is for his coaching, he charges $1 million a year. So even though he's extremely inaccessible to most people through his coaching, he's given a way to actually create so much more access, even to the people who can't afford that high tier ticket, right? And I love that because Tony's living a beautiful, abundant life because he's able to charge $1 million for his coaching and more, right? But he's also living such an abundant life because he's able to do that, and he's still able to service other people who can't afford that.
Exactly.
And so I look at that as well. Like I'm a pretty high ticket coach. That's how I would describe myself.
Yeah.
And I work with entrepreneurs, executives, CEOs, corporations, and they pay differently than your person who's in a 9 to 5, right? But I've never forgotten like who I've worked with, and I've been everywhere, right? Inpatient, outpatient, hospitals, clinics, homeless shelter. Like all these different places. And even though I don't have a plan to really return there to doing one-to-one service, I would still love to offer access to anyone who wants to work with me. And so I will definitely be doing books and courses and all these things because I think that's just such a great way to not make yourself inaccessible to everyone
Yeah.
and still preserve like where you're trying to go in life. Like I have big aspirations. I want to help a lot of people and I want to make a good amount of money doing it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the two are very tangible and tied together. So the more people you help, the more you earn. And I want to find ways to help even the people that are just able to go out and get a book, if
Yeah.
even, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so powerful and very inspiring too. I'm excited for you and really proud of the work that you've done for yourself and you're doing, um, being able to really kind of see the services you provide as value and take that what it's you deserve and what's worth for it is something I'm still learning to try to do. But it's something I think is really amazing and doable, right? And that's what makes it so like, okay, I can do this. Like I know it starts somewhere and it starts with my mindset and understanding that the value is and the being able to keep giving to
Mm,
those that can't. I just think that's so fantastic and is such a beautiful contribution to society.
thanks.
So yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, it's been so wonderful to get to know you and I'm excited to keep in touch with you and kind of find out where this journey continues and have you back on for that billionth connection. So and maybe I'll give you my stats then and we'll see where we're at, right? But yeah, I hope we can stay in touch and just wish you the very best of luck with everything moving forward.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll reconvene at the billion.
Absolutely. Well, have a wonderful afternoon. And you might not be listening to this on the weekend, but it's almost the weekend. So have a great day. And thanks so much. I look forward to staying in touch.
Same, thanks.